Movie and TV production is quickly moving away from Hollywood,
with production and soundstage use collapsing.
Hollywood films may soon be banned in China in the wake of Donald Trump's globe-spanning tariffs.
He went on to propose a 100% tariff on any films, quote, that are produced in foreign lands, to safeguard our country's national and economic security while making Hollywood great again.
Mind your business. Do I look like a studio executive? I couldn't think of any aesthetic tie-ins for this video essay, so I decided to just cosplay as the enemy. Not the enemy. So when I first started this channel, I thought a lot about how I wanted my videos to make people feel. Creative, inspired, curious, supported. Lately, I know a lot of those things are hard to access. They have certainly been hard for me to access. Like a lot of people, it was a huge life uprooting decision to move to Los Angeles and pursue a career in the entertainment industry. And watching it crumble around me feels like a surreal dystopian nightmare all the time. Then I got reminded that there are still some things and some people in this industry that can give us hope. Not in a vague way, but in a real, practical, actionable way about how to make business decisions that are less cruel and just as effective, if not more so. This video is going to be kind of chatty and low-key, not only because the world is horrible and I am sad, but also because last week I made a video that got to the manosphere, and I knew that would happen, but and I knew that they would be like that, but man, they are like that. So here, in an internet-friendly numbered list, are the 4 business models that have been keeping me from spiraling into oblivion. The thing that happened recently that inspired this video was Ryan Coogler's Sinners deal. This section will contain extremely minor spoilers for the themes of Sinners, but none of the plot points. Ryan Coogler, the director of Fruitvale Station and Creed and the Black Panther franchise, and now Sinners, just made a big splash when he negotiated this new deal for his latest movie, Sinners. So in addition to a first dollar deal, which is basically like you get paid right away and you don't have to wait for the studio to recoup a certain amount of money or pay anybody else out, you get paid as soon as the movie starts making money. He also gets final cut, and he negotiated that the rights for the movie would revert to him in 25 years. While this is not the first time a deal like this has been made, and it's not the first time that Warner Brothers has made it, there were a lot of panicked headlines. Studio executives described it as a very dangerous precedent.
I think that a lot has been made of my deal in particular. I'm not totally sure why. I have my guesses. You know,
What's your guesses,
it
Ryan?
is not a I'd rather not say.
It's racism. No, I cannot prove that it's racism. No one said directly to me that it has anything to do with racism. But the other directors who have gotten this deal and similar deals in the past were all white men. Ryan Coogler is a black man in Hollywood making a very black film. So, I don't know, what do you think? This deal gives him a lot of power and leverage while threatening theirs. And good for him. While one could say this deal really only benefits Coogler himself, I disagree. A key reason that he chose to negotiate this for this film and not other films is not just because of his leverage, which is not insignificant. He's earned over $1 billion, close to $2 billion for the studios. He's gotten 2 Academy Award nominations, and he's not yet 40 years old. But that wasn't the only reason. It was a symbolic and thematically consistent motivation. Sinners is a story about Black ownership and agency. By negotiating this deal, he is refusing to let those themes end on screen, refusing to allow for the hypocrisy that would demonstrate. And no, a win for one in Hollywood does not necessarily lead to a win for others or for all. That has been clearly borne out many, many times. He made a very profound statement while setting an example that others could theoretically follow, while demanding an equitable deal for himself. Filmmakers Clint Bentley and Greg Cuidar have already made 2 feature-length films under a radical pay strategy that gives me a lot of hope and inspiration. The pay structure works like this. It's calculated based on the SAG daily or weekly rate, which is in turn determined by the budget of the picture. And then every single person who works on the film from production all the way through the end of post gets the exact same daily or weekly rate. Across the board. They have made 2 films under this model, 2021's Jockey and 2023's Sing Sing. In addition to the equal daily rates, they also devised an ownership stake model. So about 30 artists on Jockey and about 80 artists on Sing Sing own partial stake in the film. Sing Sing is particularly inspiring to me. The film is about a group of inmates in a theater group in prison, and a large part of the cast is made up of formerly incarcerated people. So those cast members are earning the exact same rate as PAs, as the directors, and as the named star, Coleman Domingo, who went on to get an Oscar nomination for this film, one of 3 for this film. Why this is so inspiring to me is that in this industry, we often see people's stories being used, and then those people not getting fair compensation, not feeling they have ownership of their own story. But this solves both of those problems. Not only do the people who directly relate to this experience get paid extremely fairly, but then they literally own a piece of the film when it's all done. I think this is a brilliant solution for helping people not feel discarded or used when their stories are featured in a Hollywood project. And it was profitable. Both films made all of their investor money back and made a profit. We don't know exactly how much because they haven't released the precise budget for Sing Sing, but it's probably about $2 million, and so far they've made over $5 million. So it's not only equitable, fair, moral, good, a good story that probably got them a lot of publicity, but it's also profitable. It didn't break any records, but it turned a profit. Isn't that supposed to be what actually matters? I don't know. So the streaming model obviously changed everything, and so did social media platforms where content creators post things like this one. Content hosting platforms dangled the possibility of stardom to literally anyone with a phone and a dream. In the beginning, it really seemed like there was a possibility for democratization of both content creators and audience members. Yet more often than not, the people who achieve success on these platforms stay on these platforms. They have a very difficult time transitioning into mainstream or traditional media. There are definitely exceptions, but for the most part, when people hit a ceiling on one platform, that's where they stay. Meanwhile, those platforms kind of own your content. I mean, they don't literally own your content. I own this video, for example, but technically they have a worldwide royalty-free license to use it however they want, whenever they want, for as long as they want. Monetization can be not very transparent and extremely confusing. At time of posting, I personally have never earned any money from any streaming platform ever. I have a TikTok video with like 6.5 million views. Oh well, I'm not a big creator, right? But I don't know, at a certain point, I feel like anybody who creates a lot of content for any platform might start to kind of go, hey, like I'm making this for you for free. I am generating the value of your platform for free. Why don't I get to see any percentage of that? Enter Nebula, the world's largest creator-owned streaming platform. So it's intended to complement platforms like this one. It bills itself as a place where creators can take more risks without feeling beholden to the whims of the algorithm. Nebula shares 50% of its profits with all of its creators. Not only that, but Nebula has begun producing a slate of originals. All kinds of things from unscripted reality competition series to films. And now, my fourth and absolute favorite, Dropout. Another subscription streaming service, Dropout rose from the ashes of College Humor. In their rebrand, they chose to have no ads, no branded content, and be completely supported by subscription model. The bedrock of this channel's content, probably the most known and most popular, is Dimension 20, which is like a Dungeons and Dragons style RPG game show, live show. And they also have a slate of improv-based game shows and talk shows. I personally have never played D&D, and I don't really like improv, but I am a Dropout evangelist. I like smarty pants and and I genuinely think that Game Changer is the best, most creative game show since Jeopardy! They are loudly political, openly expressing leftist and inclusive beliefs.
Elon Musk is a singularly evil, wildly incompetent, befuddled, nepo baby, silver spoon motherfucker.
And they don't end by saying what they believe. They put it into practice in their business model. Their goal is to become the first streamer to pay their writers, their actors, and their crew members residuals. No one else does that. Residuals used to be how people survived in the industry with network television. But with everything moving to streaming, residuals money dried up. They pay for auditions, and in profitable years, they profit share with every single person who has made any money with them that year. So that includes people who audition, that includes people who come in and do just one day. They profit share with everybody who works there. They make everyone feel valued because they are.
It should be the responsibility of productions to do a certain amount of paid auditions per project, no matter what it is. And the reason we can't have that is because there's no Secretary of the Arts in our country, despite the fact that it is the same percentage of GDP as agriculture and transportation. What the fuck is that about?
I just really think they do no wrong. Literally, my only wish list for Dropout is a scripted series, or for them to call me. In the years to come, I truly believe and hope that more companies take a note out of their book. I think they're doing it right, and their audience is loyal because of it. I'm living proof. So, in conclusion, is everything bad right now? Not everything. But yeah, a lot of things are very bad, and a lot of things are going to get a lot worse, and no, we've heard it a million times. But we don't have to accept those things as the norm, and we shouldn't. Endless, infinite growth for shareholders is not realistic and not sustainable, and I don't know when they are going to figure that out. Eventually, there is nothing left to squeeze. We do not have to continue doing things one way just because that's how they've been done before. It's just something that someone made up one time. We can make up something new. As creatives, I think we often get and give, if we're being honest, some vague, platitude-like advice. Believe in yourself. Think outside the box. What if you made your movie on your phone? Did you know that you have a powerful camera in your pocket right now? Yes, those things are all technically true, but they're not actionable. I hope that these examples can give you not only hope, but real-world, practical, applicable ideas that you can use when you're trying to make your next thing, or what to look for or prioritize, or what businesses could be like. Studios losing their sway is destabilizing and scary, but we don't have to just hope that people will build better alternatives. They're already doing it. Let's support them. Let's learn from them. And hopefully the studios will adapt to what audiences actually want. Excellent content from fairly compensated artists. Thanks for watching this little short and sweetie today. I've included lots and lots of links in the description. If you want to learn more or do a deep dive on any of these companies or business models, I've been back on YouTube for like 6 weeks now, and I cannot thank you guys enough for all of your positive feedback and your comments and your likes and your all that stuff. It just helps me out right now so much. Oh, and by the way, if you guys know of anything else, either in the entertainment industry or not in the entertainment industry, where people are employing interesting, creative, innovative business practices, please let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely very interested in the ways that we can rethink things going forward. Cheers.